At the last round of the ATV National Motocross Championship, a battle raged between Chad Wienen, Joel Hetrick, and Thomas Brown. While the young guns looked to hold the veterans off, eventually familiar faces worked their way to the front of the pack. And at the very sharpest end was Wienen. The veteran on the number 44 used his strength to overpower the rugged sand whoops at Redbud and take the first moto. In Moto 2, another young talent, Bryce Ford, grabbed the whole shot, with Joel Hetrick right behind him. But once again, Wienen was able to make quick work of the field, getting to second, then tracking Ford down for the number 1 spot. Consistency has been Wienen's calling card through the years, but on this rough racetrack, he was simply the best. And now has huge momentum as well as the points lead. Can Joel Hetrick fight back? Find out today in Virginia. Lake Sugar Tree Motocross Park, good to see it back on the national radar. The place has a lot of history baked into it with the Bailey family from back in the day. ATV National Motocross Championship here. Jason Wygant giving me the call on MAV TV. Had some rain in the forecast here in Virginia, slowing the process getting this weekend underway. Everything canceled our Friday activities, but now we're getting ready to go racing. That's Brandon Hoag's machine there, the number 26. And Alan Myers, those two, the 24 and the 26, have been ganging up, trying to get some podiums away from the veteran riders this year. And you get the Ford brothers, Cody on the number 5 and Bryce on the 4. The veteran Thomas Brown saying this will be his last season. It's a chance for a lot of these young riders to make a name for themselves and find podium real estate, including Troy Hill and then Hayden and Noah Mickelson. And then Jeffrey Rastrelli, man, he has had some big hits this year. Nick Janusa on the outside looking in, he wants some podiums this year as well. Wes Lewis is 79. Coming out of Pennsylvania for today's race is Wesley Wolf on the 741. These are the guys licking their chops because Brown, normally a podium rider, is heading into his swan song.
Here at Lake Sugar Tree, first time racing here, and I'm pretty sure the majority of the people here is first time racing here. So super excited for the new track. It looks good, man, but it poured yesterday, super muddy this morning, and hopefully it dries out. I think by the time we get to our motos, it's gonna be a good track. Excited for it. Been a rough few weeks coming into this. Just didn't get all the training I like. A few things happened, but if we can get out of here solid motos and good finishes, I'm gonna be super happy. So I'm looking forward to today and putting my head down and hopefully start off with some good starts and let the race come to me.
We'll talk to Joel Hetrick, who's trying to wrestle the series points lead back from Chad Wienen when we return as the riders get set for qualifying and practice here at Lake Sugar Tree. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMC and by CST Tires. Gonna get it going here. Riders on track after all the rain on Friday, but we are ready for the weekend action. Riders airing it out. See, still some mud out there for our qualifiers. Riders learn the track and put in their laps. Tough decision for everyone on tire size. You can actually go to bigger tires in the mud for an ATV race and get a little more ground clearance. Doesn't handle as well though with the bigger tires, so everyone's rolling the dice. Consider that the slick tire versus rain tire decision in road racing for the ATV set. The track looks good and technical with some of these jump sections. Let's see what Wesley Wolf has got here. Good speed to that section. There's Janusa out of New Jersey on the 15. Jeffrey Rastrelli. Wild season for him. He definitely probably wants to calm it down on the track today. He's had some big crashes. Logan Stanfield, a newcomer to this class, showing some talent. Same thing with Bryce Ford on the 4. Whoa, throwing it sideways there on the Honda. See what Noah Mickelson, no, he did not throw it sideways there over that jump. There's Wes Lewis. You can see these machines really weighed down. There's Hayden Mickelson going through. That mud will get heavy. So Cody Ford running all that tape on the front bumper to try to keep the mud out of the frame and the chassis of the machine so it doesn't weigh it down. Joel Hetrick, your fastest. Oh, some real swag there. Arm swag, we'll call it. He's got to win races now. He tried to play the consistency card. He had some problems. He lost the points lead. Let's see what the number 1 can do today.
All right, we just finished qualifier 2. Pulled some heaters today. Got fastest qualifier by I think 1.1 seconds. So that's big for this track. Being a little tight, give me a good hole shot advantage going into the motos. You know, the track's really my style, and you know, it flows really good for me. The bike's working awesome. So 2 good starts today, and we'll be off to a good weekend.
Well, we'll get to it. Moto number 1 in the 2-moto format from Lake Sugar Tree. Awesome to have this track on the schedule, and we'll see who masters it best when we return. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMX and by CST Tires. Getting ready for Moto 1, there's Chad Wienen, your series points leader. And everyone trying to figure out how this track is going to change as it dries out. Heavy rains before the weekend began. It's good weather now, but you never know where mud can be lurking. Let's go. And Hedrick said this track's tight. He really needed a good start. He'd be off to a good weekend, and he is. Has the lead. Rider pushed off the track here early in Moto 1. 2 riders off the track. But when Hedrick leads him around early, it's going to be tough on everyone else. Looks like Brandon Hogue in that distinctive, I'd call it teal livery in the number 2 spot. Bryce Ford with a Rocky Mountain ATVMX camera. Not the start he wanted. Look at Hogue looking for inside lines and maybe some running room to stick a wheel in there on Hedrick, but Hedrick quickly getting away. Wienen up to 3rd, and there's an unpredictable surface. You can see it's actually dry and slick down on the inside of that corner. And then some of the stuff on the outside still sticky. Ford's gone down. And this ever-changing surface, hard to manage. Hedrick will look back, trying to figure out where everybody is. He's already pulled a huge lead for a first lap. Jumping downhill, this place does look fun. Hedrick said it works for his style, and he's proving it right now on the Phoenix Racing Elka Honda. He's got those Maxxis tires hooked up and getting away quickly, the rider out of Pennsylvania. Look at Hogue. Love what we're seeing from some of these young riders like Hogue and Alan Myers. Ford. There's a lot of young talent, and the longer they can stay up front, the more experience they're going to get, the more confidence. And these kids want podiums, not podiums because someone crashed out or had bike problems. They want podiums on pure speed, and right now Hogue in position to do it, although he barely got over the top of that roller. Over the back of that leap. We're on board with Nick Janusa, getting a good battle here with Thomas Brown. Hedrick rolls away, so the pressure point is his second place battle with Hogue and Wienen, and then this 3-rider battle behind him. You saw Brown and Janusa in it, so they're trying to move forward, get up to 4th. On board with the leader. Wow. Big air back there, but you can still see Hogue lurking with the way Hedrick got away in the first quarter or half a lap in this moto. We thought the lead would be bigger than this by now, but Hogue is getting pushed big time. There's Myers trying to hold off Brown and Janusa. And through that high-speed section of the track, hooking back onto the start. Hedrick continues to roll away, and now Wienen has made the pass. So he's up to 2nd. 3rd is Hogue. So now it's Hogue and Myers. Let's see if they can hold up. Because there's Thomas Brown, and he is trying everything, even outside lines through the mud, trying to make a pass on Myers. Had the momentum. They're battling for that spot. Couldn't make it happen. Myers holds him off. Janusa right there watching, and Brown right in the middle. Great action today here at Lake Sugar Tree, except up front. Joel Hedrick has gotten away, but we've got a battle right here. Thomas Brown trying to get around Alan Myers. Well, it's been exciting to have Lake Sugar Tree on the schedule, and this place has not disappointed. Great racing here from Virginia. Oh, we got a man down. That's Hogue. Oh, Heartbreaker is riding well. Stay with us. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com and by CST Tires. Brandon Hogue was was running a great race, battling for a podium position, and then he slammed to the ground in that jump section just before he went away to brake. Hope he's going to be okay. The 20-year-old was really making headway and aiming for a podium here. He had one earlier in the season, but he was doing it straight up. Big gap between Hedrick and Wienen, who is in second, so everybody else moves up a spot with Hogue going down. Now, Hogue, we'd also heard, had bent his shifter earlier in the Moto and was shifting by hand in the air over the jump. So that gives you an idea of the determination of that young man. So now it's Myers and Brown up to third and fourth as Hedrick continues to get away. Man, just bummed for Hogue, who is putting together one of his best runs yet. We're on board here with Janusa. Hedrick on the Phoenix Racing Machine continuing to get away. So we'll hook back up with this battle with Janusa. Wolf right ahead of him. And there you see just how much roost you got to deal with, this red clay. It can change in a hurry. It can go from muddy and soft to dry and slick. Oh, Noah Mickelson down, now back up. Alan Myers. Well, if Hogue's not going to be able to take that podium spot, Myers wants it, and there it was. Thomas Brown able to make the pass. So it took Brown a long time to get to his customary top three position, and we are back to the usual. It is Hedrick, Wienen, and Brown, 1, 2, 3, and those are the three that have taken the lion's share of podiums the last couple of years. Now, for a while, you did have Jeffrey Rastrelli in there, battling it out with Brown. Rastrelli still has the speed, but he's had some rough goes this season. Didn't have a good start in this moto. Now Troy Hill is out and getting towed back to the pits. Oh, Myers stacks it up. He just rolled it in that corner, and that allowed that other battle to get through. I think that was Wolf and Janusa. Bryce Ford, Brogan Geyer getting around him. This would be a battle, I believe, for 10th. Back up front, laps clicking off. Hedrick looking over at our cameras here as the white flag is out. This is what he's going to need to do. Been in this situation far too many times. We're on board with Rastrelli, another rider having problems. I think that might have been Janusa. Anyway, Hedrick's going to have to win out. 3 races remain this season. We'll have a doubleheader at Three Palms in Texas and the season finale not at Loretta Lynn's this year, because the season's been pushed back very far. Our season finale will take place in South Carolina. Who will be the champ by the time we get there? Well, Hedrick's trying to improve his odds of catching Wienen in the points. Loves that camera in the final corner. Thumbs up he takes. Moto 1, and we'll transition over to Moto 2. There's Brown and Wienen discussing lines and strategy on the racetrack, packing their start gates. Rastrelli will give us the Rocky Mountain ATVMC on board, and let's go racing here in Virginia. Hedrick has it again. Brown right behind him. And Wienen in third. Well, if you're Brown, this is what you wanted, a shot at the win. With Hedrick right in front, let's see what the Texan can do. Another bad start for Rastrelli. No change in that running order up front. Tight through there, then it's going to open up. And this is where Hedrick has been very fast. Split line, Hedrick starts on the outside, gets to the inside through there. Oh, he just has this place wired. Little kick on the face of that jump there. Oh, here comes Wienen putting pressure on Brown for the number 2 spot. And you can see if you put Hedrick, Brown, and Wienen up front early, they will leave the field in their way. Good battles behind them, but right now, nothing going up front. Oh! Bryce Ford just ran it in, and I mean ran it in on Rastrelli. Well, that's one way to make a pass. Let's see how Wienen tries to make one on Brown. He is all over him for second place. Pair of Yamahas here. guys used to be teammates. Now they run their own separate programs, but they're very good friends off the track. You saw them discussing race strategy before this moto began. Oh, and there it is. Wienen on the inside just as soon as Brown makes a mistake, and that wasn't the way that, well, he's going to try to walk the tightrope down to the inside. I thought it might work. Very few people using those jumps. Brown almost got back around, but he wasn't able to make it happen. So we're back on board with Rastrelli. See if he can get back to forward and try to get some revenge. Hedrick is gone. Let's see if Wienen now can catch him. He's the pursuer in second now that he's gotten around Thomas Brown. A lot on the line here. And some very intense racing, as Bryce Ford shows. If you want to make contact, you can make passes. Brown showing those jumps on the downhill inside. You could use those to make passes. But it's not over yet from Virginia. But right now, Joel Hedrick looking at a 1-1. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Rocky Mountain, ATVMC.com, and by CST Tires. Joel Hedrick appears to have things under control here, looking at a 1-1 and continuing to stretch his lead. Chad Wienen got his Yamaha up into second, but he has not been able to match the pace of Hedrick today. Great battles back here. Jeffrey Rastrelli has been in the thick of it all year long. Looks like he just made a pass on Alan Myers, and Myers tried to come back on the inside. That was almost twice that we saw contact with the pass. Now Nick Janusa is right in that battle. He's behind Myers. And Wolf in there. Now ahead of this pack, I want to give a shout out Logan Stanfield running a solid fourth right now. And then you've got a huge group behind him. You have Noah Mickelson, then Bryce Ford, then Myers, Rastrelli, and Wolf going at it. Back to our second place rider, that is Wienen. And it's been the same story the last few years. Hedrick's won a couple titles. Wienen has won a bunch, 6 in total for Wienen. Won 5 in a row. Hedrick got the title. Wienen got it back. Hedrick got the title again. And it's a good battle in 2020. Hedrick had the advantage early. But some bad luck with mechanical problems at his home race in Pennsylvania. And that is what really has opened up this points chase. So all this man can do is win out and hope for the best. Brogan Geyer, who had that great first moto, smoke coming out. That's not going to last. Bummer for him. Wow. And if you're Hedrick, that's what you have to hope happens to Wienen. You need him to have the mechanical problem so you can get some of the points back that you lost when you had it. There is Geyer. His moto is over. And Hedrick in complete control up front. Straight up, most weeks, Redbud this year was an exception. Wienen was the fastest guy there, but straight up speed. But there are good battles back here in the pack. Myers and Rastrelli just going at it. And you see the gap between Hedrick and Wienen, and an even bigger gap now between them and the third place rider. It's Thomas Brown. Man, it is fun to watch and to listen to. The leader, meanwhile, this battle continues. Myers and Rastrelli. Could be more contact coming Rastrelli's way. Myers going to go outside to inside, get back underneath. Got to guard those insides. Myers right there. I believe that is a 7th and 8th place battle. Give you an idea how deep it goes here, where you'll still have riders going at it like it's a victory. Let's get Rastrelli's perspective again. Joel Hedrick. He's headed to a 1-1, much needed. The equipment problem in Pennsylvania cost him the points lead. The last race, Wienen took the win, but now Hedrick is back on top with a 1-1 sweep at Lake Sugar Tree. And that was key. At least momentum and maybe good for the map. Let's talk to our top riders.
It was a solid run for me. It's been a rough couple weeks. Looking to get back to Texas after this and start getting back in a training routine. You know, I'm really happy with today, but super stoked to go to the home state of Texas, go down to Three Palms. It's actually going to be a double header weekend, 2 motos on Saturday and a moto on Sunday. So, and that track I think is going to get rough. That's a lot of sand down there, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm excited about it. I think everybody's going to be ready for that heat.
Joel rode a good race, and I just tried to not push myself too hard, but ride a calculated race to try and get at that overall win, but just wasn't able to get it done today. But we're heading to Texas. We got a doubleheader weekend. We got the regular racing on Saturday, and then we go to a single moto format on Sunday for an extra round makeup. So try to really dig in for that. We got a little bit of a break, but I'm going to enjoy the time away and really focus on these last couple of rounds and try to get this job done.
Both motos were great today. Pulled 2 starts, qualified first. Just had some really good speed on this hard packed track, and you know, I knew coming in here, being hard packed, I had a really good advantage. My tracks I ride at home are very similar to this, so I just ran my lines, ran consistent laps. Super pumped on it. I want to keep this ball rolling into Three Palms, the next round we have, and just start clicking away. We just gained 6 right there, and there's definitely some hope left in the series, and I'm ready to do it.
And here's your CST Tires race recap. Hetrick grabbed both hole shots. Here it is in Moto 1. He had Brandon Hogue right behind him. Hogue bent a shifter. It's a big crash here from Ford. Luckily, he was okay. Hogue bent a shifter, was still able to run in the number 2 spot. And then some tremendous action back here as Thomas Brown started working his way forward. Then Hogue goes down. Luckily, I should say, only a broken wrist for him. Wienen eventually able to get to 2nd, and Hetrick had so much time he was able to salute the camera crew. And then we go to Moto 2, another hole shot. This time it's Brown right behind him and Wienen, so the 3 established stars all right there. And then a great pack behind them. Watch his pass, Bryce Ford to the inside with authority on Rastrelli. So much action back there, but we did the math. It ends up being Wesley Wolf with 4th, and 5th to Logan Stanfield. There you see 2nd place taken over by the 44 Wienen. Brogan Geyer's machine smoking down the stretch. Top 3 was settled with Brown in 3rd behind Wienen. Hetrick takes the moto win. But shout out to Ford and Myers also doing a good job in the point standings. A lot of young kids moving up, but it's all about Joel Hetrick here in Virginia. Thanks for watching.